So by now, that's kind of cracking this morning, so just have some distance over here. So that's good, right? All right. Shake your hand, you like the hand, and that's good. Okay, that's good. So by now, all of you know that I and my wife Sue will be grandparents next year, sometime in March. But not all of you know that we will be having a grandson. Did you know that? Not all of you know that. I didn't know that until I visited my daughter about 3 weeks ago. And when we visited Edmonton, she announced to us and to her in-laws during our Thanksgiving dinner. We had a combined Thanksgiving dinner for the first time. She surprised all of us. And after the dinner, she brought out cupcakes, right, and for each person, a cupcake for each person, and with the cupcake had a red and blue color kind of mixed together, and she told us to bite into it. So we did, and voila, color blue inside. I didn't know that really color blue was for boy, but that's. Not that it was any surprising for me, because when she sent the photos of ultrasound a few weeks ago before that of the baby, she sent, I knew it was boy because there was a little knob on the arm, so I just so not really surprising at all, but I pretended to be surprised. Wow, really? Because I didn't want to ruin the occasion, right? So. We'll have a grandson soon. So, but you know what? I don't know. It just still, it doesn't sound real to me still. That I'll be a grandpa. It's kind of. I mean, I get it here, but it's not registering here yet. I mean, my wife Sue is all excited, and she's been bubbly ever since she found out that she's going to have a daughter. Will have the baby, and she'll be a grandma. But me, I'm having some sort of kind of delayed kind of reaction. It takes a while to process all this. Kind of too much for me. Like I'm having this kind of what you call sort of identity crisis. Like me, grandpa. What does that mean? What do I do? What am I supposed to do? What does grandpa, supposed to do? Like. I've seen my older brothers, especially my 2 years older brother. He was one real serious kind of guy before, and then he became a very silly grandpa. and I am like, I don't want to be like that, so kind of confused nowadays. But I know for certain that the birth of this child will be a life-changing, unforgettable event for many people, including me. I can never forget the time when my daughter was born. That's like about 3 years ago. You could say it was a life-changing moment for me. See, right after her birth, I held her in my arms and looked at her tiny face and thinking to myself, phew, what an ugly-looking creature. Because, you must understand that it was the first time I've ever held a baby, a newborn baby. I wasn't prepared for anything like that. And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I stayed with my wife for about 4 hours while she was going through this labor. Like a good husband, I stayed with her and held her hand, and she didn't let it go, and held on my hand so tight. I almost felt the cramp on my whole left side of my left arm. And painful and tired and sleepy. I was totally out of it. And then this nurse handed me a bundle, and I saw a tiny creature inside. You see, people told me before that, how cute and pretty the newborn babies were, like a pretty baby doll. They were all lying. She wasn't a bit like that. She just came out of her mother's womb, and her face was all swollen and kind of purplish, and she couldn't even open her eyes, and she had all these wrinkles on her face, and so she reminds me of like E.T., right? And she was crying so loud. She was nothing like a pretty doll I imagined her to be. I was like, ew. But right after about 2 seconds later, something big was happening inside of me. Without any warning, I was choking with tears. All of a sudden, I was having this surge of emotion. And I became kind of breathless. Like, I looked deeply at her tiny face and soon realized she was my precious child. And I, her daddy. Wow. It was like a life-changing moment for me. My life was never the same since that moment. And now my daughter will be having a baby. Another life-changing moment. I'm sure all of you have your own share of wonderful life-changing events and encounters and moments like this when you and your life were never the same after an amazing event, a life-changing moment. Now, Jesus came to a sycamore tree and looked at the tree and called Zacchaeus. And ever since that moment, Zacchaeus was never the same again. It was a life-changing moment for Zacchaeus. So we're on the second Sunday of the sermon series. I titled 5 Characters We Meet in Heaven. Looking at the word of certain outcasts and misfits of society whose life went through a radical change with the coming of Jesus' heavenly kingdom. And last Sunday I spoke a little bit about this widow who regained her justice. She was persistent. So I titled that Greedy Widow. And today we'll look at this passage entitled Little Zach. The Little Zach. Now, what was Zacchaeus like? He was a tax collector, it says. Tax collector. He was physically a little person, but he was also little in his spirit. He was greedy, selfish, and the lust for power and prestige and money. All these bad habits and lifestyle were destroying him and cutting him off from other people and from God. A man without any meaning and purpose in his life, a loner, and a lost soul. But then Jesus came into his life and turned his life around. A miraculous encounter. You see, the encounter with Jesus changed him permanently. When the light of Christ spilled into his life, Zach saw himself. Perhaps for the first time he saw himself as he really was. Greedy, self-centered, a traitor, a cheat, a con man. He was exposed in all his littleness. And Zach didn't like what he saw. He was ashamed and convicted of his heart. But he realized that help was available. And even after all he had done, he felt somehow that this man, Jesus, could help him. And he changed. And we talk about conversion. Through the presence and the love of Christ, his life was changed completely and permanently. Christ came into his life and made him over. So let's look at how Zach changed. Zach went through, he changed personally. He got a new view of himself because Jesus called him by name. Everybody else in town has labeled Zach, and the labels he attached to him were not attractive. But Jesus walked up and called him by name. Zacchaeus, came down. Zach, I choose to have lunch with you. See, everybody else in town labeled him as a traitor, a measured, a greedy tax collector, labeled him and stayed away from him as much as possible, treated him like a leper. But Jesus came to him and called him by his name. And I love that. Because I know how dangerous, how destructive, how painful labels can be. Through labels, we create suspicion, misunderstanding, distancing, paranoia. Through labels, we teach fear discrimination, bigotry, prejudice, and hatred. Labels. Leo Pascalia expressed it like this in his book, Living, Loving, and Learning. He says, words are supposed to free us. Words are supposed to make us able to communicate, but too often words become boxes and bags in which we become trapped. And we don't even know what it means. And so it is with a black man, with white men, with Orientals, with immigrants, with Indians, with Jews, with gays, with lesbians. All you have to do is hear a label and you think you know everything about them. No one ever bothered to say, does he cry? Does she feel? Does he understand? Does she have hopes? Does he love? Does she have kids? Labels. A loving individual frees himself from labels. She says, no more. Jesus looked at Zacchaeus that day and refused to be blinded by prejudice. He refused to label him. He saw not a tax collector, but all the ugly baggage that label carried back then, but a person of worth, a human being, a brother, a child of God, and he called him by name. Jesus called Zach by name, the right name. He entered his life personally, and Zacchaeus was changed personally. And Jesus comes to each one of us like that, uniquely, genuinely, and personally. And we need to hear him calling our name personally. Now, I often do prayer meditations on almost daily basis. One of the most effective and deep prayers that I do is when I meditate upon Bible stories. I try to enter into the story itself. I put myself as one of the characters in the Bible stories and really try to play the character in my own mind, recreating the whole scene in my mind. And it's quite profound if you're able to do that. I call this like a holy imagination. It's kind of role-playing, but it's really about holy imagination. You need a holy imagination to put yourself in the meditation. You know, one scene in the Bible that I like to meditate over and over, especially when I feel down and out and when I'm in distress, is when Jesus was on the cross. You all know that story, right? Jesus was on the cross. So I imagine that I'm on that hill, one of the people who are looking at Jesus being crucified. And I look at Jesus hanging on the cross, and I walk directly toward the feet of Jesus, and I look up to his torn body, look at his mangled face. And then he opens his eyes and turns his head toward me, and he looks at me, and he says something, and I can't hear it. And I come closer, and he says, Richard, I love you. And I say, no, Lord, not like this. I'm ashamed. And I hear Jesus saying again, I still love you. I love you as you are. Jesus calls us by name and tells us how much he loves us. What a friend we have in Jesus. He's a friend who can help us and change us and redeem us, a friend who can make us over personally. Zacchaeus encountered Jesus on that day and changed him personally. And Zacchaeus was changed socially. Zacchaeus not only got a new view of himself personally, but he also got a new view of other people. He came down from that sycamore tree, reaching out to others in love. From that on, his life was not about himself anymore. About his self-interest, not about his greed and lust for power, but about reaching out to others, making difference in people's lives. He says, here, Lord, I give away half of my income to the poor people. And if I'm caught cheating, I will pay 4 times the damages. His life became calling-oriented from there onward, mission-oriented. He received a new identity, and his destiny changed. From then on, there was a clear and renewed purpose and direction in his life. You see, that's what happens. The old has gone, the new has come. It's a new beginning. Your new identity in Christ Jesus will reveal a new direction for your life. There's a clear meaning and purpose in your life. You begin to aware of why God put you on this earth and strive to fulfill that calling. No more wasting, no more same old and same old, trying to accumulate these little things. You become more of a goal, outreach, a mission, or reaching out to others. I mean, Zach, what was Zach's life? His life was he was living for himself. But once Jesus entered his life, he changed him personally. He began to really live, begin to make difference in this world. No more about reaching out to others. What a change. Zacchaeus changed personally and socially. He received new identity. And then there is a meaning and purpose, a new direction in his life, reaching out to others with love. That kind of change happened to Zacchaeus on that day in Jericho. And it can happen to all the little Zach here and now. All those who are yearning for something more than just accumulation of little wealth, little power, little success. Because you see, the truth is that it's not enough. Because we still yearn for much more than all these little things. The truth is nothing or no one will ever be able to fill the void that we have. We can hide and mask our yearning, but we can try to patch and stop our desperation temporarily, many little things, but the deep ache remains at the core of our souls. But when the heaven descends in Jesus Christ, all of our littleness will be lifted, and our deep yearning will be satisfied, and our soul will be ready to receive our salvation. Jesus can satisfy our yearning and set us free to truly live, citizen of heaven. Christ can come into our lives and make us the instruments of his love.